Well, it was a great ceremony, and the reason was primarily was that the football captains that were out there representing all the other players, and we had a get together last night, and I've never been to what might be called a homecoming, where every football player was happy, and hugging each other. So that was very moving for me, and when I turned around and saw them, it was good. And the next standing next to President Moorhead, who was the one that had to make it happen by recommending to the boards and to the cabinet and to the athletic board that the stadium be named. And then my family, Barbara, who's been with me going on, be 60 years on March the 19th. And if you remember that date, if you get a chance, just to remind me. In fact, tomorrow is Barbara's birthday. One of the great things about my birthday on the 4th, it reminds me that Barbara's is on the 8th, and I almost forgot about it with everything that's going on. So I think I'll be all right. But I was always doing 2-a-day practice, and a lot of times I was late in the 4th quarter when I finally came through with a birthday present. So anyway, it's a very moving experience and moving day, and I thankful for all of the people that was a part of making it happen, and all the people that share in this, which is the greatest thrill of all. The players, family, cheerleaders, band, the managers, the trainers, some very special people of the Bulldog Nation. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Questions?
Coach, I think when you're standing at midfield and there are over 92,000 people cheering you, I think your first year here, wasn't Sanford Stadium like 36,000?
Well, I think it was about 40.
40, I mean, could you have ever imagined going from 40 to over almost 100,000 people?
At that time, the only thing I imagined was trying to win that game on that day, at that time, to get to the next year. When we first came, you can't say that I was the most well-received coach that ever been hired. I always tell the story that when Coach Eves made the decision, announced that the new coach was Vince, the Georgia people got excited thinking it was Vince Lombardi, who at the time. And of course it's me, and as I look at those credentials, there's no way as an administrator that I would have hired myself. I mean, 31-year-old freshman coach at a rival school. Now suppose you had to hire somebody at an institution like Georgia and say this is the coach.
Coach, you said that 78 game at the time blew off the bench 29-28 over Georgia Tech. It was the most exciting spectator game up to that point you ever coached in. 2 years later, blew to Scott in Jacksonville. Did that move right in there with it?
Well, I mean, as far as the thrill of the ending of the game, yeah. But what I'm talking about is spectators' game, because those leads changed hands like 5 times. Tech was out 20-0 on us, and to come back and win it like we did from a spectator standpoint. Now, from a coach's standpoint, neither one of them that I liked, but the final results I loved.
Coach, you have never settled down, but you have been in somewhat quiet retirement over the last. Can you describe what the last couple of weeks might have been like? And I think I know you must have been up late last night and early this morning.
Everybody has been gracious, been so nice, said so many nice things. But I've told some close friends it's all been great, but I'll be glad when it's over. Yeah. To focus the attention back the way it should be on the football team. And it will happen. May not happen the next week like it should, but the following week at Notre Dame is going to be total focus, and I'll be fading away in the sunlight in my garden. That's the great thing.
When was the last time you saw so many former players in like one place?
Well, not that many. Not that many that happy. So last night was just a great, wonderful homecoming, and they were all hugging each other, and hugging me, and I was hugging them, and it was a love affair, and it was really great.
Coach, you always say with the players that got you here, but then you talk to the players and they say you're the reason they got to where they were. So selfishly, what did you do for, what did you provide to all your players?
I don't know. I hope that I provided them a good example in life. And that, I think, is what I really want to strive for. That they can look back and felt like that I was a good example for them in life. And I certainly don't want to leave out the coaches, because I have had the great ability to hire good coaches. And Eric, who was with me for many years, my brother, with me the first 3 years and got us started, and on and on. So the coaches, and I saw a lot of them today that later played for me, Steve Greer, Charlie Whittemore, and on and on. And incidentally, this jacket, you don't like this jacket?
Yes.
All right. When I retired as athletic director in 2004, the Savannah Quarterback Club gave this to me. And this is since that time, I think it's the second or maybe third time that I've ever worn this jacket. But it feels great. Does it fit all right? Yeah.
Very well.
Thank you.
Coach, one more thing, when you saw, I know you knew this was coming and been kind of planning for this day for months, but when you saw to actually, they had it on the board, but then to unveil your name and to know that's going to be there, I guess, as long as they're playing football here.
Well, I knew that I thought that my name was going to be up there, and so I wasn't too surprised. But Barbara, who is 50 times more emotional than I was, as she has done on so many occasions, and particularly when President Moorhead announced that he was going to propose that, she started clapping and she started hollering and she started crying and all the things that she does with the great inner emotions of the Mediterranean Lebanese background which she has. So it was great. But what was great was to see her in her emotional state of that, and to see all the other children and grandchildren. I don't know if you saw my great grandchildren. I've said many times we have 11 grandchildren, and when they were just little and cute, you just hugged them and they'd smile, and then they grow up to be people, which they are now, and they're not near as cute. Not near as fun. But if you hang in there long enough, you'll have some great grandchildren. So our great grandchildren, twin girls, are here, and I'm going to take them out and take a picture with Hugger with them.
What was the nicest thing a former player said to you these past couple of days?
Say again.
The nicest thing a player said to you these past couple of days?
I don't know. I think it's hug it and say, I love you, I love you. I think that phrase probably was repeated I don't know how many times.
Barbara's more emotional, but have you been emotional this last 10 days, week, whatever it is, running up to this thing?
Well, again, when I think about all those that made it happen, and I think about those that are so happy and proud, that is the emotion that I get from the satisfaction of them being very proud that it's happening.
Let's take one more question.
You've had a lot of great moments in here. You won a national title as a head coach as well as a number of others as a athletic director. Where does today sort of rank in your personal history of days at the University of Georgia and Sanford Stadium?
Well, it's never happened like this before. Never will happen again either, but it's the one time of all times, so it's extraordinary special, to say the least. But as I just said, the reason is because of the involvement and the completeness of people that made it happen and are sharing in it and are joyful of it. And I saw that last night from the players, and I saw it again today when I looked out and saw all those captains.
Thank you.